this is Kyle with RV Theming here at Dollywood, and I'm exhausted. I've been here about, only 7 hours so far. They're open 10, so I don't know, I think I'm done. But it's opening day today for non-season pass holders, and we had quite the day. So I'll show you some stuff, and we will tell you all about what happened here today. A very interesting and weird time at Dollywood, I gotta admit. Ah yes, anybody who's ever been to Dollywood knows the first thing you get to do is drive through the Smoky Mountains, and they're always smoky. It's quite the incredible sight, and it's a delight on your way to Dollywood. So let me tell you guys something. We actually had our tickets before we showed up. You know, you needed to make reservations and all that. But so we had our tickets, but on the day of operation, we learned that the app was no longer working and the website was also not working. So everybody you see on the line here, not only are they getting their temperature checked, everybody here, unless they printed out their tickets, if they depended on the app like we did, they had to wait on the customer service line for the tickets to be given to you. You could not figure out how to do it. It just wasn't working. So that was a big problem on opening day. And as you can see, that line there that we just walked by was the line for the tram. But anybody who's been to Dollywood before knows it's just a 5-minute walk, if that, past that point to go ahead and just walk right into the park. So we went ahead and did that with a smattering of others. And when we got there, the line was extensive. So that was a big problem. And we arrived at 9:30. The park opened at 10, and we didn't get into the park until about 11:30, it wore on us. It was very hot. Everybody in their masks and all that, which they did a good job. And I will tell you, once we finally got in the park, we noticed that I'd say 9 out of every 10 people were wearing masks. The people who weren't, they all seemed to have the same grimace on. They were mad about it. They were in defiance or something like that. But I'd say for the most part, everybody was pretty cooperative, and it went well. Dollywood is just one of the most beautiful parks in the world, and this was no exception. When you walk into Dollywood, you know that you're going to see a well-thought-out, well-themed park. It's about as beautiful as they come. This here was a reproduction of Dolly's mother stitching together a bunch of random fabrics to make a coat for her, and it was a positive memory for her, and she immortalized it in flowers. So Dollywood, one of the things they're famous for is performance, and this was no exception. Take a listen to this guy.
So weightless, life to say, I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night.
Just wonderful. So one of the things that really stood out this day at Dollywood was the thin crowds that were there. As many know, the parks are working with limited capacity. Dollywood was working with a 50% max, and everybody in the whole park seemed to be where we went first at Lightning Rod. Now, generally speaking, I wouldn't go to the main coaster first. That's kind of fool's gold. What I like to do is go to the back of the park and work forward against the crowds. But Lightning Rod has a pretty poor reputation, and we did not go to the back of the park, which would be Wildwood Grove and ride Dragonflyer and all that. And it turned out it was a pretty good idea, because later in the day, when we tried to get a second ride on Lightning Rod, we walked up, and wouldn't you know it, this is what we saw.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
So boy, was I glad that we went and overrode my usual style of theme parking, and we got at least one ride. So one of the things I wanted to point out is when you went to the station, they actually allowed you to take off the masks, because they were doing a really good job of keeping people separated. So you can see most people took their masks off. But a very interesting thing is that their focus, they were cleaning the cars and the trains and everything, but one of the things that they were doing was they were actually walking around and hand sanitizing every single person that was online, which was really cool, as opposed to a previous experience we had right before everything shut down, we made it down to Busch Gardens, Tampa. And as you can see here, they're really focusing on just, it was more of a show. They were just cleaning, every other car. They were just kind of spraying things down, but there was no real attention to social distancing. There was no attention to everybody else's hands like you're seeing here at Dollywood, this experience. The staff, what an amazing job they did. They, number one, they were very positive, but number two, they actually did a good job of sanitizing everybody. And we got to go on Lightning Ride. This was my first ride on this coaster, and it's really a bummer that I didn't get a second ride, because let me tell you, man, I don't even know what happened on that ride. It was so intense. It was fun. I had a good time, but I needed to get on it again. Well said, sister. So Dollywood is not without incident. Look at this little girl. She photobombed me. Timber Canyon, everybody. All right. So after Lightning Rod, we decided to pick up with our usual theme park plan, which is to not to go with the crowd. You can kind of feel where the crowd is going. We backtracked a little bit and went through Timber Canyon, which leads you to Thunderhead, and that'll also get you by Mystery Mine and going back to Wildwood Grove and such. But we went by Thunderhead, so if you haven't been on Thunderhead, it is one of the best rides in the park. The only ride in the world, if I remember correctly, that has a full-speed station pass-through. It's truly incredible. I love Thunderhead. It might just be my favorite ride in the park, but an interesting thing was taking place with the staff. They kept doing, every time they had to stop the ride for any reason, they would do a Zen ride by a staff member. And this happened at more than one place, which was interesting. Aggravating, but interesting nonetheless. And as you can see, the storm clouds were rolling in, and we were bracing for a heavy storm. It said that it wasn't going to rain, but as you can see in those clouds there, rain was imminent, and rain it did. But we did make it back to the new area called Wildwood Grove. This is only 1 year old, and let me tell you, this area is gorgeous. They have a lot of they're not really so much kiddie rides as smaller versions of regular flat rides, but they were good. My kids had a good time back here, and look, as you can see from the detail here, it's just an exceptionally themed area. Really well done, beautiful, serene, open space. And let me tell you this, Dragonflyer, the Vekoma suspended coaster. Whee! Look at that. So the suspended coaster by Vekoma Dragonflyer was much better than you would think it is. The forces were there. There was some airtime. Really a great ride. After that, we went through the area where Mystery Mine is, and we did get a ride on Mystery Mine. Actually, two. What a great ride that is. It's probably the best themed coaster in the park. We made a little stop, got the credit on Whistle Punk Chaser, which, if I'm being honest, was the roughest ride in the whole park. That ride kicked me around a little bit. Fire Chaser, what a cool ride. Another really well themed ride. As you can see here, I got a little video of the track switch, but I gotta tell you, this is a Gerstlauer. It doesn't really look like other Gerstlauers, but I was unimpressed with the smoothness of this ride. It's only a few years old. I expected a little bit better. It was fun, great theming, like I said. And here's another view of this. They sprayed the whole cart down, and another staff Zen ride. And I'm not really sure. I asked somebody why they were doing that. Their explanation was weak, so I'm not going to give it to you. Now, here's my little secret love, the Tennessee Tornado. I got to tell you, that might just be my favorite ride in the whole park. We did make it on to Wild Eagle as well, which was the first winged coaster in the United States. And look, we tried to make it back over to Lightning Rod. We're walking through Dollywood. But I want to tell you, this park is beautiful, but this particular day with COVID-19 being on the forefront of everybody's minds, I got to tell you that the staff did an amazing job. There were lots of little aggravating things, but they did a real good job of getting everybody through it. They were very supportive. They were very friendly. So the experience opening day in this really unforeseen and uncharted territory. They did a great job. Dollywood was wonderful, but at the end of the day, we were exhausted. Let me just tell you this. If you're going to Dollywood, make sure that you print out your tickets, have the physical tickets, because other than that, it was a great day, but that almost ruined it. Thanks for watching, everybody.